Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now December 5th of 2023, and given that there's a lot of things going on right now within Disney, given that South Park Studios, Elon Musk, and yes, even the Daily Wire are all going against Disney and Bob Iger, including the board of directors, and it's really not a good sign for them for the remainder of 2023 leading into 2024. And one suggestion that I must make right now in the beginning of this video is that everyone go ahead and check out Godzilla Minus One. It is one of the most entertaining films of this year, and I say one of, and it really holds no agenda-driven strategies behind it. It's just pure fun. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, the thing about the Marvels, we know that this had the absolute worst MCU opening in history at the box office, and is absolutely one of the worst box office performed films within the MCU films, of course, of all time. Now, we know that there's a lot of things going on within Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, and his connections with Bob Iger. There's a lot of awkward scenarios happening as we speak behind the scenes, and how at the center, this has a lot to do with Brie Larson taking legal action against Disney. Let's get into the specifics, shall we? Now, one thing about Brie Larson is that I've said this multiple times. She is very much self-absorbed as an actress and as a person, never takes any kind of accountability, and has only created more drama on specific sets, especially for the Avengers cast years ago. I'm sure that you guys remember that whole thing that happened like 4 years ago, give or take. But what's interesting about this has a lot to do with everything related to her stance against Disney. Now, with the current status of Hollywood in shambles, especially for Disney and CEO Bob Iger, along with the board of directors, one major development happening right now has to do with actress Brie Larson taking legal action against Disney after they fired her from numerous Marvel roles within the MCU, however not 100% of them as of yet. As new truths surface regarding the ongoing drama, it only makes things more difficult for Bob Iger's position. One significant update to this ongoing drama is that Brie Larson and her team are already doubling down on their legal stance against the Disney higher-ups after they believe Brie was wrongfully fired from the roles that she was promised even after signing a detailed contract to be of great significance in Marvel Phase 6 as one of the main characters from multiple major films and TV shows. Now, as it turns out, the main reason why Brie is taking legal action right now behind closed doors has to do with how she lost her most important role for 2025, which was going to be Fantastic Four, where Captain Marvel was going to have a glorified cameo and planned to break canon material for the Fantastic Four for the storyline in that film, actually revolving around Sue Storm. With Brie Larson fired from 90% roughly of her MCU roles after the Marvel's box office collapse, she is now only left with a minute amount of cameos. Larson's fight against Disney is their desperate attempt to at least get some, not all of her roles, however, reinstated within the MCU. Even Kevin Feige, and this is where the awkward scenario comes in, even Kevin Feige is reportedly teaming up with Larson to take on Disney to reinstate her roles. Now, with Larson gathering up a legal team as we speak against Iger and the Disney heads, she also recently was fired from Avengers Secret Wars. This was the main film which Larson was going to actually receive a significant amount of income with her acting career that has now been stripped, and was the final push for Larson to take legal action against Disney in a desperate attempt to make a case active against them. Now, this drama happening behind the scenes has been so large, it has been rattling throughout all of Disney behind closed doors, and that it's also putting Kevin Feige into a very awkward position with Bob Iger, after they recently reorganized the Marvel roadmap for future films that will be announced during the first quarter of next year. Now guys, let me just say one thing about this before I get to the big conclusion about Brie's situation, basically, is that this is a very similar scenario to what was going on with Rachel Zegler, to Nia DaCosta, the Marvel's director, and among others out there over the course of the past couple of months. Now, there's a lot of things going on with the Marvels. We already know that Bob Iger has been opening up more about the failure of the MCU, about the failure of the Marvels at the box office, and, well, he's still defending Wish, because, let's face it, Wish is like their big face of 2023. They wanted to make this movie kind of like an honor to Disney's 100th anniversary, and what do you know, that failed as well. And this is exactly why I feel that this is so much of a karma-driven thing, because this is their 100th anniversary year, yet it was the worst of all. And it was all because of Bob Iger making those terrible decisions, with a lot of cutbacks, with a lot of their aspects of their cost containment plan, wreaking havoc on Disney and Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, I mean, you name it. But the real source of the problem, let's be real here, has everything to do with BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street and their ESG and DEI strategies being spilled into entertainment. I don't care if it's movies or television, doesn't matter. They are ruining pop culture as we know it, month by month. Now, here's the thing about this further. Another main reason why Brie is actually beginning to take legal stances against Disney is that now Disney is refusing to release many of Brie Larson's deleted scenes as Captain Marvel for the Marvels film. This reason for her legal stance is most likely set to go nowhere. However, she was initially promised by Disney and Marvel Studios that deleted footage or sequences would arrive to Disney Plus for the Marvels. This is something that she is also fighting Disney for, to get them to reinstate, or else legal movements will move forward in a more serious matter. Now again, we know that Bob Iger is not innocent in any of this. This is not me defending Brie Larson either, but Bob Iger really, is a shady CEO at all times. And it goes to show you that they're not confident in any of their projects. I don't care if it's Lucasfilm projects when it comes to Star Wars, or if it's Marvel Studios with their Marvel Cinematic Universe projects. We already know that they are planning to revamp the MCU, not necessarily reboot, let's not get confused with that, but they're looking to revamp it. And what I mean by that is they're reorganizing their roadmap, their ways of marketing these movies, and stuff around those lines, and I don't believe it's going to help them or do them any good in the process. I mean, Bob Iger, after every decision that he has made throughout 2023, his track record is basically toast at this point in time. I mean, that's just a given. So, look, like I mentioned before in the last post, is that Bob Iger is making that move to stand down, alright, to step down from his role as CEO by 2026 at contract end. He is reportedly not seeking to renew his contract, nor are the board of directors, by the way. And you would think that even if the board of directors are fed up with Bob Iger and his failures, that they would want him fired by now. Well, there's a lot more going into that, and it's more in-depth, but there are several reasons why they do not. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the week. But anyway, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.